Start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a terrible intro. One of these days there will be a song or something that's cool or something that sounds
Something cool.
profound or something. I don't know. Maybe a quote
We'll
from.
get something cool.
We'll get a quote from somebody. I don't
Malcolm
know.
X.
Yeah, it could be some. It could be something like that. Yo. Anyway. Welcome to Lunchtime TV, everyone. I'm your
Yes.
host, Michael Jackson, with Sasha B. We are here to turn it up. Now, we're talking about the intro to the show. You said Malcolm X. And then I was thinking about the group chat this morning that me and my homeboys are in. And one of these Negroes posted this meme where it's a picture of Dr. King. And it looks like he's just gotten off of a flight. And I assume it's Hawaii because he has a few lays around his neck.
Yes.
But then there's like a white girl next to him. So the caption says, "Hold the fuck up. This nigga ain't tell us about this part of the dream." Oh my God, we were dying. Just him with two shorties. I'm like, yo, he being mad disrespectful. My man
I
was loyal
mean,
to his wife.
was he?
I mean, is any nigga at this point?
Listen, I'm not knocking his
Yeah, you
the
can't
good
not
parts or
knocking
the
the
bad.
hustle.
I'll say
Yeah,
he, but I think it was on Twitter. It was a few years ago. Someone, was it like his son or somebody came and like told some truth about him.
oh, for
Which,
real? I don't remember even hearing about
yes,
this. I probably
I
turned my
think I
ears
had
off to
told. I
that.
feel like I talked to you about this, but it was a while ago.
Really? You might
And
have
it was
to.
something where they were there. He did have some infidelity things going on,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I
but it
feel
does. To me, it doesn't. I feel like
it don't make no difference.
it don't.
See,
Yeah,
what we got to start to recognize about people, and obviously, this is not one of our main topics if you're just tuning into our show
no,
for today. But we're talking about this because it starts mad funny, but then we get to the truth part. But we got to realize that people are people. Every single person walking this earth has made a mistake or a handful of mistakes. Some of us got a bucket full of those motherfuckers.
yes,
But at the same time, people do good work within their realms, whatever they do.
mm-hmm.
Dr. King was a major advocate for civil rights and trying to do the right thing by people. But like, there's no way. I mean, I don't want to say no way because obviously there are some things that people do where you're just like, this is appalling. We've talked about R. Kelly on the show.
Right,
People like that, yes, we get it. But there's a lot of things that people do, and then we try to like negate their accomplishments because of these little things, which is like
right.
weird because then it's like we're all throwing shots, even though like y'all won't go this crazy when you know your cousin is like a child molester or your baby daddy doesn't take care of his kid. Like you don't even rep that hard, but as soon as you find out Martin Luther King maybe had a shorty on the side, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that I have a dream shit is out the window. Like, no, it's not.
I mean, we're still being beaten and all of these things in
Yeah,
1960, whatever. So it doesn't
exactly.
really take away from the big picture.
Yeah,
It's
precisely.
not like he was talking about infidelity in his dreams. So
Yeah. That's my thing with people. It's like if he was to be like, I would never do this and do that, and then he did it, then maybe you're like, okay, you're a little fraudulent. But like, the civil rights stuff versus a nigga's personal life, those are not the same thing. Like we gotta get over that. A lot of people do that to a lot of people. I think it's funny, honestly, like
yeah,
because people will be like, oh my God, I can't believe so and so does this and they work this job, and I'd be like, what does it matter? They're a human being. You didn't
yeah,
think you thought they were above doing some crazy shit? Like, no, man, it's just how people roll.
true that.
And listen, speaking of crazy shit, we're gonna get into it. Last week, we had an unfortunate situation out in Buffalo, New York, upstate New York.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always repping. That's where my family is from. We had a. I don't want the show to turn into me just going crazy. So I don't. If I start by calling him a bitch ass nigga, it's gonna turn into a rant. We had a young BAN decide that he wanted to travel from wherever the F he was from. out to this neighborhood in Buffalo, and he decided to shoot black people for whatever reason.
Literally.
I know there's some stuff online. Like let's just be clear. He went to shoot black people. That's it.
Bottom line.
That's it. Because even when he streamed it live,
He
even when he's streaming it, he walks up upon a white person and goes, "Oh, my bad. Didn't know you were white, or didn't realize you were white." That made it clear. We had 13 people shot, 10 people lost their lives. My cousin tells me she was on her way to that said grocery store right before the shooting. And I spent the whole week wondering, like, how crazy would it have been if, like, my grandma or somebody had to call me and be like, yo, this happened. I would kind of was bugged out the whole week. And some of it was obviously having that thought. Thankfully, that did not happen. My cousin is good. Shout out to my family. Everybody's good. But some of it was the fact that it was here we go again. We're back to this shit. And then that's when all these fucking groundhogs raise up and they start to pretend to care about us and about what has happened to us. But it feels so fake.
Of course.
And then all the people online making jokes about it, which is just so crazy. It's crazy to me how we are all comfortable just joking about death. Like, it's one thing if we're making jokes about Abe Lincoln, because that's hundreds of years ago. But like when you're online 10 minutes after an incident at like, I get it. Y'all hate us. I totally get that you hate us. But really, you're making jokes about death moments after it's happening. Y'all gotta be some of the shittiest people on earth if you think that shit is cute.
You see what? Look, this is why. Remember we talked about that quote?
So this is why. And this is why I want to touch on this, because again, it has been a long week. It hit me more than ever based on our previous conversations when you think about the dynamics between different communities and then when they start to have interracial relationships, I'm able to not let it impact me to the point where I will be on some FU type of stuff, because this stuff happens every single day. And if we don't believe that it happens every day, we are also out of our fucking minds. There's 50 states. There's even though we make up a very small number of the population, there's enough of us where I'm sure one of us takes the L behind some bullshit every day. That's bullshit that's racially motivated. And so when we think about the main thing that most black people say when they see you with somebody that's not of your race, they say why. And then these are the examples that they point to. Why would you want to be? And obviously we know.
Yeah.
I hate that I keep having to say this. I told myself I'll never say this again because I feel like y'all all adults. Y'all should know it's not everybody. We're obviously not talking about everybody.
No.
But it is crazy to think, like, when black people go, why? Because why would you want to be with somebody who they're indirectly connected to a person who will be willing to do this behind the fact that they hate us for our skin? It's a very far leap. Obviously, all white people I know, they're not related to this kid. They probably don't feel the same way that this kid does, so on and so forth. But it's unfortunate because of all of the stress, trauma, and oppression that we suffer. Our first thought is, why the fuck would we want to do this? Now, that's not something I was thinking this week. My main thought was, in times like this, how does a white partner support you when you're kind of in a state of stress based on things that are happening? And I don't know. I'm trying to get the armrest situation figured out, but I genuinely don't know how. I can't provide them with that playbook, that training, that coaching.
No.
And obviously they can't, because they don't fucking know what this shit is like over here. So it's like, what the fuck do we do? What does anybody who's in one of these relationships do? We'll say that for another show. It's unknown. I want to go back to the shooter thing, but they don't care. And
No.
when I say they, I do mean, and it's not even just white people. I saw a lot of white advocates posting things that they saw online where other communities of color even were laughing at this situation.
Yeah.
And we live in a world now. You think about this back in the day, even during slave times, right? There's no video cameras, there's no nothing. But there used to be people that would ride out at night, even during the day, every single day, hunting black people.
Yep.
We then turn these people into police, and now when it's not just police and it's just these other random white people, they're literally televising themselves hunting us, trying to exterminate us. And people are able to view that from the comfort of their own home and laugh. Nobody cares. I don't know. What do you think?
Did it happen on a Saturday? Was it
Yeah,
Saturday?
I think it was Saturday. Saturday was like is it the 3-year anniversary of my grandfather? Well, it's his birthday, but like,
It was the
I just, I
14th.
just, I just always keep thinking about like every time his birthday pops up, I'm always thinking about how his passing hit. I'm like,
Yeah.
imagine if my cousin would have took the L on my grandfather's
Same day.
birthday. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
crazy shit.
I haven't been able to. I was in a competition, so
Oh, we see you
uh,
turning up. You have to list out your
yeah,
accomplishments, trophy. Oh, we're gonna have to get to that. We're gonna get to that.
we'll get
Fire.
to that later. But I didn't really see anything until maybe a day or two later, and I'm at the point where I don't even want to know the detail. It's going to come out anyway. We're going to see
Yeah.
it. I won't even have to look for it. Um, but I don't know. As a black person, I just don't. It's weird because we have all these people that want to come out and they want to be outraged, and this is what we need to do. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm like, you cannot make the world not be. This is, it's not, and I'm not saying it never will ever be. To me, I really don't think it will ever abolish racism. That's just to me, that's just, I'm sorry.
It's
There's no
here,
way.
bro.
And
It exists. Cause
it's there and it will always be.
always.
And it doesn't diminish what the person did, but for me, how many times have we seen it? It's almost just like,
Numb
well,
to.
you know what? And then think about it. If we want to, what's going to happen? The whole cycle of like George Floyd, the same thing. He's going to go to jail. He's going to get indicted. He's going to go for trial. Didn't he plead not guilty? So we're going to have this trial. That's another traumatizing thing. Black people are going to watch it to put themselves through the trauma. And
Yeah.
then when they don't get what they think should happen in the justice law system that's already pinned against us, right? Then we're mad about what years they got. And then guess what? Then we're going to have to explain to them, oh, these are the rules for this state. This is why he got this. Same thing with George Floyd. The same thing is going to happen here, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just,
It's very
at this
repetitive.
point, we've had this so much, right? At this point, I don't know. I just, like before George Floyd, it was
Sorry,
like,
bug flying. My bad.
don't do that. Don't scare me. I'm like, what's happening?
No, there's
Um,
a bug flying in here. I'm like, what the hell?
oh,
But yeah,
okay.
no, I'm listening.
Like,
Sorry.
I don't know. Eh, okay, before George Floyd or years before, it wasn't in your face as much. Now it is.
Yeah. I mean, you think
All it
for the
is,
longest time, the only real example, not real, and not the only, but the biggest example that we had seen probably up till like 2007 that people always reference was like Rodney King. And then it felt like around like 2007, 2008, you know, when the internet started
Then it started
really
hitting.
popping off, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, there's this one, this one, this one, this one. Like now, and then you're finding people who had video archives that they, once they realized they could put stuff on the internet, then all of a sudden all these videos are up. Then we have all these movies come out. I mean, you think of like Fruitvale Station. I just seen a thing the other day where it was a happy birthday to Sean Bell, which I've never even heard the full details of that story, but that's one where cops shot him over 50 times. How y'all shooting a person 50 times? Like that come from hate in your heart. Because you know how many shots it really take to subdue a human being. It's bones and flesh, bro. These are weapons. They're literally weapons of destruction. They destroy your body. So 50 times, that's mad excessive. That comes from hatred. All this shit be stemming from hatred, bro.
Yeah.
And again, we see it 5, 10 major times a year, plus the other 35 to 40 times that it happens in very small towns and flies under the radar. These crimes never get solved. I mean, and the other stuff too that be really crazy. We think about like Philando. The cop asked him to show his identification. He reaches for it, he's killed.
Right.
These people, the Dylan Roofs and then whoever this corny ass nigga is, they get to literally go into places, murder people, and they get walked out like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because now, no cop could tell me, oh, I just really hate criminals. That's why I shot his black hat. No, because if you really hated criminals, y'all would execute Dylan and this other boy on sight. Because they already took 10 lives. So it should be a trade, right? At the very minimum, even if it's 10, 13, 14 bodies,
right?
If y'all are treating it fairly and you just hate criminals, you would take them down too, right? But it's not like that because all this stuff stems from hate. And I'm not advocating for anyone to be executed. I'm just saying we are executed on videotape frequently.
For our
nothing.
Skin color.
Yeah, you gotta remember we had old boy. What is it? Eric Garner, was he the one who got choked for the cigarettes? Now we're to the point where I'm confusing the things that happen to them because it happens so often. It's hard to tell. Is he the one who gets choked? Is he the one that gets shot in his car for sleeping? Like, I mean, it happens so damn much, and obviously this is a terrorist, and I'm referencing situations that happen with police, but it's all the same because it stems from hatred. Like, you have to hate people to want to get up, load up your vehicle, travel to another state, and then want to execute random people that you don't even know. These aren't people that did anything to you, and even if they did, is there anything that any one person can do to another human being that deserves for them to have their life taken? We could probably think of maybe a couple examples, but it has to be where people are actually violating you. And in this situation, we had 10 people who lost their lives that didn't even know who this person was. They're complete strangers. There's nothing that a complete stranger could say or do to you that will warrant you pulling out an assault rifle and taking their life. It just don't go down like that, bro. That all stems from hatred. And it's just crazy because like no one cares, bro. No one cares.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is, this is not a police thing. This is not a political thing. This is just someone.
It's a morality thing. It's good versus evil.
It's just
hate
an evil
love.
And it's like, for me, there's outrage of I don't know. Everything does not need to be. We need this. And it's like, but this is just normal. There are people that hate us.
Yeah.
And it sounds so. I guess I'm numb. Maybe I'm numb.
Yeah.
But my thing is, in this instance, it's really, really messed up. It is. It's really messed up. But what I'm not thinking about is how we can. Like, you can't stop or control what's been embedded for centuries, years, however many long this has gotten.
Facts. The rhetoric is already out there.
Yeah, it's already out there. It's already it really is, you pray for those families and try to go see your therapist, talk to someone, like
Yeah, what can
I
you do?
listen, I cannot continue this fight when I can't continue to be outraged about everything when everything is not, it's not like the police, like with George Floyd and then the defund, and well, defunding is this is what we really mean, and Black Lives Matter, not saying no white lives don't matter, but Black Lives Matter, and having to explain all that. This totally,
Yeah,
to me, it's different because there's gonna be someone in the world that's gonna hate Mexicans, or gonna hate anybody of color. They're going to target those people, and it's
yeah.
a world
There,
we live in.
there was a shooting on the
What can you
same
do?
day. There was
Oh
literally
yeah,
a shooting on the
California.
same day. Yeah, in
So it's
California.
like, is this
Like
planned?
some of the what this boils down to is that we have people walking amongst us who
Mm-hmm.
feel some type of way, and they're taking
Yep.
it upon themselves to do things they shouldn't do. And then
Yep.
other people who also feel this type of way either support
Yep.
them, or then the other people don't support them. And then we just spend all day arguing about it. I'm a big advocate for activism. I want people to be active. I
Yeah.
want them to protest. I want them to do all these things. But if you ask me if I'm going, my answer going forward is no, never again. I'm not doing that. We can talk about it on here, but the reason why I'm starting to not care is because look at the people who have created this system and look at how hard they actually work to actually change it. These motherfuckers don't do nothing.
And
They
also
don't do
how hard
nothing.
they
They don't
defend it.
care. That's what I'm
They defend
saying.
it
And
too.
they'll try to
They
find ways
defend
to
it.
justify it. You
Yeah.
look at even like the
Yeah.
media, like we saw how different it was how they talked about Mike Brown versus how they talked about this guy. Mike Brown was an 18-year-old grown man who made the decision that he made versus this kid is an 18-year-old teenager. Like, bro, how do you expect to
He's a
win the
teenager.
game? You can't win the game when the referees are literally calling all the fouls on you and letting the other team score, and
Right.
not telling you can't play defense.
At some point, you're gonna throw in the towel and sit the fuck down, or go in the locker room.
We gotta
I'm
go.
not about
Yeah,
to keep up
exactly.
with
We
it.
gotta go play another game. Gotta find another
Right, I'm
sport to
not
play. I
gonna
don't
keep
know.
falling. It's a trap. It's like we're gonna keep falling into this, and it's like you, they now that we have social media. So the good thing is, yes, there's the news. The sad thing is that there are people who still watch it and believe everything. Like literally, they're brainwashed. But then
Yeah,
there's social
idiots.
media. I didn't have to watch the news to see about the shooting.
Yeah,
I got family that was posting about it. I didn't even. I literally was like my aunt that her. So she lives out here, but her family lives in Buffalo, and
yeah,
they go there all the time. And they were like, "Well, I saw her post. I'm not okay." And so I'm like, I think it was that night or something, and like I'm trying to rest and all this, and I didn't really think anything of it because the comments didn't say anything. But literally the next day, Sunday, I was like, oh,
yeah.
there
It's
was a shoot,
crazy.
and it's just, I feel like everything, I can't get angry every time anymore. It's
That's what I'm
tiring.
saying, bro.
It's
Like,
tiring.
I want to clarify when I say that I don't care anymore. It's because I'm tired. It's not that I
Yes.
don't want to go protest. I don't want to go support. It's not that I'm trying to
But this
say
is
no.
not a
I'm not going to
protest thing either.
defend. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
know that's the only thing that
Yeah.
people are gonna want to do. That when people are like, "What do we do now?" Well, we gotta riot and we gotta protest. Like, bruh, even doing that shit, it don't do nothing if the people who are
Yeah.
responsible don't care. No one
Well,
cares.
I think, well, I'll clear, for me, I don't mind, like, protesting, not really anything to protest about this, but continually marching, having events, like, there's
Yeah,
events that
I'm
they're having here.
exactly. I'm down to
All
support that,
continually
and
having those positive reinforcements. Let's reinforce Black Wall Street that they're having on 23rd and Jackson.
yeah. You know what
And
my
all,
biggest thing with that is though?
yeah,
I think it should be more of like when we as people when we link up to do these events for our community, it need to just be about us kicking it, sharing
yeah,
education, offering services, obviously
Yeah.
advocating for change, but it don't need to be let's go out here and get a megaphone and just be on the corner screaming, because again,
Right.
all of our cries are
That's
falling on deaf
yeah.
ears. These people don't
Yeah.
care. What we need to do is every time these situations happen, we as people need to get closer. And I'm not saying exclude other people. I'm talking about you bring in the positivity. It's the same way how people talk about, well, we're not going to mourn a death. We're going to celebrate the lives. We're going to find ways to strengthen our own bonds. If those people don't want to fuck with us, that's fine. We'll fuck with each other. And we also need to share information, spread knowledge, educate, talk about how people can look at self-defense classes, arm themselves, get permits. Who in the neighborhood is black that can fucking help people get armed? And I'm not advocating that we go get in shootouts, but listen, at this point, we have to realize that you have to somewhat meet fire with fire. And if anything, you just have to be prepared. A lot of our people, we walk around all day feeling like, oh, no, it'll be cool. Because they won't come to the hood and do it. Nigga, yes, the fuck they will. They went right to the hood. They'll go to your hood. And yes, most of the people that took the L behind this were elderly people. There was one little shorty, I think she was like in her 30s, but for the most part you're dealing with older people. But look at what they want to do. So who's protecting our elders? Who's protecting my fucking grandma when she's out there? Imagine if it's her going to the store, because she still be doing that stuff by herself. Her husband's not there, so who's watching out for her? We need to make sure our communities know how to protect themselves, how we can band together more. But I still, even this whole week when I'm looking at Twitter, you know, all I'm seeing again, people hating on Bronny James because his prom date is white. Girls on there complaining, if a nigga ain't got money to pay my bills, I'm not fucking with him. So, like, why are we not talking about ways that we can bring the community together? How we can, you know, kind of get ourselves prepped and prepared for active shooter alerts? Like, why do we care about who's dating who? People don't care. It really be your own niggas too. And for everyone that doesn't, there's 5 that do. I want to make sure that's clear. We know that there are tons of people who do care, but at the same time, we allow ourselves to get drowned out on social media by all the bullshit that motherfuckers are posting. And I'm somebody that's a part of that shit too. I'm on there fucking just posting about fucking basketball and bull. And some of that I think is because we're trying to occupy our minds because we're tired, but because we are so numb for that. Exactly. I can't either. And because we're so numb, we're starting not to care. And so now we're all just gonna be here until it's our turn to get fucking put on a t-shirt, bro. I
think at some point I feel like we can't, not to say we can't change the system, but it's going to take this is something that's, you know, and even if we change the system, there still is going to be people out there that don't like it. Just like with the presidency. Yeah. When Obama was president, they didn't like it. When Trump was president, they loved it. Then they got mad because he did certain stuff. So you're not going to be able to really change, not change, but you can't change the hearts of people no matter what you do on the bigger, like the political stance. And so I feel like when you talk about sports or anything else, you know, here I am posting about my competition. I'm sorry. Do I want to look at the videos that people are making of those people that lost their lives? No.
Yeah, no.
Do I want to talk about it? Not particularly. I'm on the podcast, but outside of that, I really, and it's sad because it's not like I don't care, but at some point we've done all these things like since George Floyd and even before, but it was really in the forefront from then. And I feel like at some point, it's almost like a child. Okay? Over and over, George Floyd. How many years ago was that? 2020? So 2 years. The pandemic's happening. All of these things, right? We've been trying to throw it in your face. If you don't want to listen to it, I throw up my hands. Right? I got to say, you know what? Let you guys figure it out. Because there's going to come a time. That's why I'm like, I don't think, I won't say that like we don't care, but I feel like at some point, you know how tiring it is, and then you don't want to go to work and talk about it because then you're going to hear something from somebody that's going to say something that you're like, oh, so you're one of those, right? Then we got to get into that, but we work here. This is our money maker right here. So if I get into this conversation, then we don't talk about it, we act like it's not a thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to bring it up in my job with all them clear folks, because I already know I'm gonna hear something wrong, and then I gotta be the one to say. Because then, guess what? They say something wrong. Guess what? They're gonna look at me.
Yeah. So I know that's why I think there's
It's
only
just
2 black people at my job, including myself, and then only 3 total. Maybe, I mean, there's people off site. I'm talking about just on site specifically.
yeah,
But there's only like 3 total people of color that are there every day.
yeah.
And even I have a sweatshirt that says "Yeah, I'm black" on the front, and I wore it the other day, and one of my
Love that.
one of my coworkers goes, "Are you wearing that just in case you have to remind people?" He thought he was being mad funny, and in my head, I'm like,
Fake laugh.
not this week. Why this week you want to choose to? Because I've worn the sweatshirt before. I'm like, why today you want to say something to me?
It's like one of those things.
I just kept
Yeah.
it cool, just like try to be chill. Like,
Right. That's why I'm just like, it's weird because like I think now we just have continue to have these like I said, the June, like the Black Wall Street thing they're having. I think it's this weekend actually. They continuously do it in the summer, but like having the Black Wall Street, like at this point we just got to have these positive events that have information, like you said. So they have information you can buy.
Yeah.
There's certain products, but they also have self-defense people do come there. So
heck yeah,
it's almost like we just got to bring something to keep us feeling a little bit better, I guess, because you can't take the hate out of him and and even if you do, he needs professional help. And is he gonna get that now? Yeah. Do we know he's gonna get that, or is he gonna fake get it?
What we really need to do is, I'm not saying that we do what they did to us or what they.
Listen, pull up to the house.
My biggest thing is I feel like we as black people should stop limiting our blackness in front of these people. And what I mean by that is, like, why do we feel like we have to put on our white guy voice, our white girl voice? Like, why do we feel like we have to do that? Why do we feel like we have to tone ourselves down for these people? And yeah. I don't know. For me personally, I'm only speaking for myself. Growing up in the town that I grew up in with a lot of the white people, I feel like I watered myself down purposely because I was a very lonely kid, and I wanted to make sure that I had what I felt like was support from people. Just wanted to be liked, wanted to be cared about. One of my biggest regrets in life was the amount of years I spent living in a place like Gulf Breeze, Florida, and toning myself down in an effort to make white people comfortable so they would accept me. Even in that same town, in front of a lot of those same white people, they watched me get brutalized by police. Yep. When I first was eligible to vote, they denied my voting rights at one of the locations. And you know what? There was only one person who actually gave a fuck, and that was my dog Sam Coon. And you know what? My man actually just moved out to Bainbridge Island recently. Shout out to Sam and his wife. But Sam was standing right there next to me, and as soon as the lady tried to tell me that I wasn't allowed to vote, he started raising hell, and he called his pops, because we were kids at the time. I mean, teenagers, but still kids. He called his pops. His pops came down there. They were raising hell behind that shit. They let me vote. But think about that. Y'all really was giving me a hard time. And even at the time, I didn't really know shit about voting because I didn't really pay attention in school. So they probably could have just been cool and finessed me, and I probably could have voted for who they wanted to. But instead, they wanted to not deny my rights because they didn't want me to vote for certain people because they want things to be a certain way. Again, it ain't all of y'all, but if you get offended by what I'm about to say, that means you probably are a part of the problem. But so many of y'all white folks, you want us to be just like you, and you only accept us when we are like you or we can do things for you. You need employees, cool. They're good when they work. They're good when they do things to help you stack money. They're good when they play for your favorite sports teams. But then we're all niggers when we start to step outside the box and be more like ourselves and be more like the people who are actually in our community. That shit is corny, bro.
Right, when we're outside of that realm.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
When
So
we're outside of that. Yeah.
so my biggest thing, some people are like, oh yeah, I see you grew your hair out. Why'd you do that? I don't know. Just because I know white people hate the fact that niggas have long hair. So I just grow the shit and I let it do what it's gonna do. Like why all of a sudden have you switched up kind of your gear? You started wearing it because I want them to know that like I'm not backing down from it. I work in a place where on the back of almost every car is a Blue Lives Matter sticker, vote for Trump, a Trump 2024 type of bullshit vibe. I make it clear to those motherfuckers that they don't scare me in the slightest.
Right.
Y'all want to come at me in the parking lot of my job, we can get it cracking. I'm not worried about that. And
Right.
if it mean I end up on the t-shirt, so be it. But my biggest thing is that I want to make sure that I go down fighting because I'm willing to die for the respect. Because y'all not gonna treat me just
Right.
some type of way just because I'm black. I mean, yes, actually, no, I can't say that because they will treat you however they want to.
Yep.
But you won't be in my face treating me like that because I will
No.
match your energy. And we'll see how far people are willing to go. That's not me being on here doing no threats or doing nothing like that. It's when I get too tired, when I'm done putting up with people's bullshit, it turn
Oh
into
yeah.
pull up and let me know what it is. And one of us will walk away or one of us won't. And they'll
We'll
have
find
the
out.
option too. Yeah, fuck around and find out. That's what we have to be on because look at what these people do and then look at how many of these people don't give a fuck about it. You remember what 2 years ago or last year when people posted all those little black screens on their IG? Where are all those fucking people at? It's only worthy of being cared about when it's trendy.
Right. Right. And it's a lot less. I do still see those things that are posted from those white folks, some of them. But it is far in between, and it's not, you know, I know like before what was it last year when I was posting more, a lot of black people appreciated it, and even a couple white people, they were like, they kept liking it because I kept circulating the posts about, pretty much black excellence stuff or
Yeah.
quotes or things that talk about how racism and things like that. I kept posting. I don't know if you remember because I don't do that. I don't have time anymore. But when it was, I felt good because I didn't even realize the difference. It was weird. Like I didn't even realize how helpful it was. So when I fell off of that, I get messages like, "Are you okay? I missed your posts. They
Yeah.
were funny or helpful or whatever they were." And so it's almost like we have to keep it as I won't say keep. I don't even know what I want to say about it, but keep our lives mattering as the thing. If when social media, people have unfollowed and all of that, and that's fine. They might get tired of it, but I'm like, well, I'm tired too.
Yeah.
Like, we're tired of
Yeah, I
hearing it,
mean,
seeing it,
I'm always
being
gonna
a part
post
of it,
stuff.
being the one that you want to ask questions to. Like,
Yeah.
I get tired of that.
Yeah, I hate it. I mean, I know,
At this
and there
point, if
were.
you don't understand, figure it out yourself. There's
Yeah,
books, there's
exactly.
videos, there's podcasts, there's newsletters, there's newspapers. There's small but big
So much
enough.
stuff.
Just
There's so much education out there, especially when like allies when they want to reach out. Oh my gosh, I see that you're ailing. How can I help? And I know I'm in this moment. I'm making jokes. I'm probably mocking y'all a little bit, but I need you to understand that although I appreciate your efforts, it does sometimes come off as corny because you continue to ask me how you can help.
which is funny
Why the
because
fuck are
you
you
weren't asking
asking
me
me?
before, but you didn't
Go
ask before.
go look at what your people do. Look at
Still
the
do.
problems and then dissect them. Cause I'm gonna do the same shit you're gonna do. I'm gonna look at the situation and be like, well, we're gonna problem solve this shit. That's the only thing we can do. Stop asking me, oh my god, what can we do to help? How the fuck I'm supposed to know?
I'm just a one person,
Y'all haven't done shit to help up to this point if you really asking me because I'm looking at our surroundings
right?
and nothing has really changed. Nothing.
Nope, nope,
Nothing, bro.
nothing.
But speaking of black excellence, and before we move on to our last topic of the day, I wanted to highlight this. I posted this on my page today. I thought this was super dope. And just another thing that people, white people can scoff at and be sad about because we're exceeding expectations and I know these people hate that shit. Chicago Charter School announces 100% of seniors are heading to college for the 13th consecutive year. And
Nice.
the picture is like 10 to
Black.
12 black brothers strong, dressed in their suit, they jackets with the ties. Oh my god. I love it.
Ooh.
I love it.
I love a good black
Yeah.
man in a suit.
Hey, there
Ooh.
we go, man. So, listen, these are the things that I care about more now
Right.
than going out
Right.
and being pissed off and trying to throw a brick through somebody's window over this shit. I want us to hype up more of this
Right.
stuff. These are the things that we tone down. Why do we tone down celebrating these youngsters?
Yeah.
13 consecutive years. This is the first time I heard about this shit. Now, obviously, I don't live in
Right.
Chicago, but I should have heard about
Right.
this the last 12 fucking times so we could be celebrating this shit. These
You
are
know
the
what?
stories we need to highlight.
And I think that's why I would always post those things and stuff, because what's sad is for that one post, there's how many deaths, how many killings, how many injustices, how many of, maybe not deaths, but how many police encounters have somebody had that resulted in almost death or unwrongly, being jailed or all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very uneven in a sense of, it's almost like you got to search for some black excellence stuff to find it before you find. But in between all of that, you can Google it. You put in Chicago, and if you put Chicago black students or African American excellence in Chicago, you put in Chicago, you're probably going to get some negative stuff in there just because you put Chicago in.
Because that's what you got to remember, though. All of this stuff is media. Media doesn't make money off positivity. It only make money off bullshit.
They do not.
Yeah,
so
crazy. All right. Shout out to everyone in Buffalo. RIP to the wonderful people whose lives were lost on that unfortunate day. Maybe one day it'll be different. We'll see. I saw this video today on TikTok. And it was Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp has a podcast, and he has this thing called, is it Shay Shay's Club or some shit like that?
Yeah, like Shay Shay or something, yeah.
Yeah. He's talking to somebody on there, and he asked this gentleman, I think he said Buddy's name was Earthquake, maybe? And
I think I saw. I didn't get to see it, though. Yeah, but I saw it, but I didn't.
What he asked? He asked, does Jada love Will? Or something to that effect. And I actually was wondering, like, do we think Jada actually loves Will? Buddy's response was that he didn't think so because he doesn't think Will is Jada's dream guy. Because if he was, Will's daughter and Jada wouldn't be calling out for Tupac to come back from the dead to support them, which that is super weird. I didn't really read too much into that, like when I first heard that his daughter had did that, but I thought that was very strange. A man that she has never ever had an interaction with, she actually like has been calling out for him to come and like save her and her mother. Shorty, you got a whole father. Real? Yeah, they talk about that. How she made some comments where she was like, "Oh, we want him to come back and save us. I know you're alive," or some bullshit like that. And my thought was like, if I was a parent and my daughter was calling out to be saved by my wife's, like maybe it's one of her exes, but it's her deceased former friend, like that would be weird for me. I might be like, Shorty, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't even know this man. You've never met him. You never had an interaction. It's not like he held you. There's no pictures of y'all together. Like, you know him the same way that a nigga like me knows Tupac. You know him through the music and maybe some stories from your mama. And based on how loud your mom's mouth is, we know all the same stories you know. So you and 20 million other people all know Tupac at the same level. And you're the only famous one who's still down here in the crowd of people who only know him through his music. But yeah, you're calling out for him to come save you and your mom. That's weirdo shit. And then like the whole when he slapped Chris, and then like she like condemned him after the fact. Like, what? He did that on your behalf. Now obviously he makes his own choices, but like he did that based on how you reacted, so he did that for you. It's clear that Will loves Jada more than she loves him. I definitely agree with the fact I don't think she loves him. That doesn't mean that they're in an unhappy marriage. Because maybe things are good based on the fact that Will gives her permission to have entanglements and shit like that. And I also, before I throw it to you, I want to say this last thing. Will Smith he's on record saying that he does not believe in divorce. He only divorced his first wife because he thought Jada was his soulmate. Now I feel like because he won't relinquish himself from his own weird ass fucking stances, now he's stuck. Cause dog, you should divorce her. Like, why stay in this? This is not healthy for you. If we're having these conversations about you based on all these things that we see on a daily basis from you and your family, like, you probably should look at it from the same perspective that we're looking at it from. Be like, this shit is corny. It's probably time to go. I mean, black don't crack, so you still look very young. I'm sure there's plenty of shorties that Will Smith, and not just for the money. Probably for that $1 million smile he has. You know, he's funny. He's a good actor. He looks like he can lift you. Girls love that type of shit, right? There's probably someone that will actually take care of Will's heart a little bit better than Jada. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. What do you think?
Well, I do want to clarify that they both said that they're not divorcing. So they were going to make it work. She said it. Wow, she did.
They're both bozos.
She did. Hold on. Because you got to remember, if they're both on the same page with that, then, I mean, you make it work. And it doesn't mean that you don't have separations. You don't have time away. You don't have these little mini breakups within the marriage. And she's allowed to do whatever. And he knew about it the whole time. So we don't even have to. That is that thing that they twisted and turned into something that was private until August said something. And Will already knew about it. He literally told everyone. So for me, he did. The thing was, I know it was torture to be on the red table talk about it, but they both agreed to talk about it because August said something, and Will knew about it the whole time, whether he liked it or not. That was their agreement.
That's true.
Now,
whether you like it or not.
So we cannot, to me, they done both decided, they said this themselves, to make it work. Now,
it's not all on Jada. We will make that clear. It's not all on Jada. Because Will plays his part.
He does play his part. Will is funny and all that, what we see in the media. Now we're seeing him on Red Table Talk and we're shocked. He can be funny all he wants. But that does not mean that they have this people continually think that the nice pictures and the beautiful outfits and the on the side arm and the kisses in front of the camera, and that means that they're so perfect, and they're not. They literally, we have seen them in pictures together, and they were having entanglements. She was literally doing what she was doing with August. Like, I'm
gonna be honest, like, though they don't ever look happy, even in the picture.
But what I'm saying is they're together in the media. They're supporting each other in movies or whatever their endeavor is. If there's a release or something, they're together. That does not. This is the thing. It's nothing. Even if you're separated, if you're married but separated, but there's an appearance that you guys have at something for a movie that Will's doing or Jada's doing. Why not show up? Here's the thing.
It's for Hollywood.
Not just for Hollywood, but think of it as this: if I'm a regular person and me and my husband are separated or whatever, and I have an award for a job or something I'm doing in the community, or I have something like that. Okay, I have a competition. To me, because we're separate does not mean you don't get to support me. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like
I see what you're saying.
Like there's certain things like, okay, we might be living in separate places, but it's almost, I feel like like a child. That doesn't mean that you don't show up for the child or provide for
Yeah.
those things, like, unless the separation call for that. So I feel like, I don't know. I don't think that love is different for everybody. Love does not look the same for everybody. We don't know the whole story. This is
I mean, I guess,
where
but
I
like,
here's the
I
thing.
don't know, man.
You,
I from a man's
from what you're
perspective, there
seeing,
ain't no
you
way
don't
in
think so.
hell. There's no
Yeah.
way in hell that
Well,
they're in
okay.
a
Well,
marriage that it has a strong foundation of
it
love.
doesn't mean that they don't love each other, though.
But also, having love for a person versus
Yeah.
loving a person versus being in love with a person are all vastly different.
And
I
that's the
also
thing.
think
People,
like after 20 years, like you probably just are like we locking in, we on cruise control. Cause some of it too
well,
is like they're
yeah,
both older, so like
yeah.
what our
And I mean,
options
but
are
the thing is,
limited.
marriage goes through phases. You can't, like, I don't think that Will's outburst and how when he slapped Chris is, and then Jada saying what she said, whether it be right or wrong, at the end of the day, they've already made the decision to stick it out. If Will's going to get help like they're saying he is, great. If he's not, fine. With me,
Yeah, I mean,
here's the thing.
he don't.
I
Does Will need to get help because he slapped somebody? Like
well,
that's
but
also
here's
crazy to
but
me. Why does
but
he need help for slapping somebody?
But you gotta realize though, when he said what he said after, it's not to say that Chris and them don't have something that we don't know about going on. And Chris, he didn't like what Chris said, and it doesn't mean that the face value of what happened is not that. But when he accepted that award, remember what he said? People
I didn't
put,
hear that part.
see, look at you. Literally, he was saying people basically, well, you're the nice guy, and they keep pushing you and pushing and pushing you, and then all of a sudden, now you're the devil for one thing.
Yeah, I
But
mean, he
but
slapped
you
the
got to
nigga.
realize
That's
they're
it.
human too, and I don't think it's wrong for him to go get help. Who knows if he's been getting help? Maybe he's just now getting it. We cannot. My thing is, we want to crucify people so much, and people are at different stages of their life. I can't, like, he's what, 50 something, and if he's just now
Yeah,
getting help, hell, good for him, because the last half of his life will be better for it. Because that's all you got.
I just
He
think
only got half left.
if we're basing someone needing help off of a slap,
I'm not basing it off of that.
no,
I'm basing
I'm
it
not
off
saying
of,
you are. I'm saying like if that's what people are like, well, you know, he slapped him and then he said he'll be
but
banned from the
he's
Oscars and
deciding to
he's
do
gonna
it
go
though.
help. Yeah, I
But
mean,
he's deciding to do it.
if he's making the choice for himself, yes, well, I love that for you. But
Yeah.
if this is in any way, shape, or form, if people being like, hey man, you slapped a guy, you got to get help. I will convey to the entire world, you motherfuckers need to man the fuck up.
Yeah.
All he did
I
was
mean, but
slap.
it
He
obviously
gently slapped him.
he
It almost looked fake.
he
He didn't
admitted
hit
it
him
was deeper
hard.
than that though. But he admit I don't mind the slap. Honest, personally, I don't mind the slap. But he admitted to us in the award acceptance speech that it was deeper than that. I'm sure that's not what he wrote for his acceptance speech. He didn't write that. That nigga was crying.
Yeah,
Ain't no way
I think he
he
has a
crying
lot.
about that.
So here's the thing we also have to remember about Will. Will's been getting, although
Yeah,
he's well received by a lot of people, he's been getting
he's
bullied
been
by
getting
his own.
slandered.
He's been getting bullied by his own community
Yeah,
since 1990 something. We weren't even, you know,
yeah,
even think about the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. How's that set up? Where he gets in a fight and then he has to be the guy who gets trotted off
right.
to go live with his rich family. Like, you know, you're catching slander just from the
Yeah,
fact that it's like you left the hood. You know, because that's what we want to do to people. He's always had a reputation of being somewhat of like the softer guy, which I don't think you need to turn up and then be like, you don't have to be Hulk, but like,
right.
I don't know. If he's seeking help, it's because he probably feels like he's about to explode
Yeah,
and he's tired of people talking crazy to him. But think
yeah.
about the main source of people talking crazy to him. Where does that come from? It's going to be the person that he probably spends the most time with, because he knows he can't really do
Yeah.
anything about the people online. But he does get open from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
based on if you're married to a shorty, you're going out of your way to do some of these things. She don't need to condemn you for the slap when she gave you the look that was like, yo, you better go slap this nigga for how he's talking to me. That's not what you
Yeah.
do, man. Even if y'all are married, those little things are why niggas are looking at it being like, she doesn't love him. There's no way, because if you actually loved him, you could tell him that at home. But you don't go on the internet and tell I didn't like that, I condemn that. Like, no. If anything, when people on the internet ask you, how do you feel about that? I'm glad he slapped that nigga. Get him out of here. Even if you don't believe that. Because if y'all are doing things for appearance, you need to maintain the appearance that you actually love your husband and that you're not condemning things that he's doing for you. That's just for you. He didn't want to slap Chris because he thought that shit was funny. He laughed. We all saw it. He laughed, and then when he realized, oh, shorty's not laughing, I gotta go do something. He didn't want to slap Chris. That's why he gently slapped him. You see how big Will Smith is? If he would have actually slapped Chris, think about this. Will's big ass hand all across Chris. He probably could have smacked him straight down into the floor. But he didn't do that. He kept it light because he's being himself, which is a respectful guy. He doesn't actually want problems, but he had to check him. And obviously this ain't just about, this situation. It's a lot of these other things. Like, I feel like there ain't no way she love him like that if she's constantly always trying. She tell more stories about Tupac than she do her own husband.
But that's something that they've got to. But they've got to deal with that. That is something that they got to. The thing about it is, it's something that either Will has decided is okay, because she ain't stopped.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Will, that's probably why.
And I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, to me, it doesn't mean that she doesn't have love for him or does not love him. But when you have the way, when you have the opportunity to leave or do whatever or make a change, and you either just if I keep telling you I don't like something and you keep doing it, then I have a decision.
That's what I'm saying.
And it could be that he's decided to cope with it in a different way where here's the thing. You gotta remember though, but Jada has said that we don't know this until Red Table Talk years later. How long they've been married? I don't know. Long time.
20 plus, yeah.
20-something years. She hated a birthday gift that he got for her.
Yeah, we heard all about
that. And there was...
but here's the thing. She told him he was making it all about him. Maybe we get that, but...
But my thing is, she didn't... From what I remember, she didn't embarrass him on social media or anything like that. She was... They did say after the fact, like years later, that she was not okay at the party. Like the whole gift... The time she was there, she was a bitch, right? But she didn't go on social media. It was probably in the times social media wasn't a big thing. But I feel like they're both at a point where she's saying stuff outwardly and he's doing stuff outwardly too now. So I think that might just be a thing in their marriage right now.
Maybe it's a phase, but
here's the thing:
I'm gonna say
they were separated before, so it's not like there's phases to there's marriage goes through like lots of things, right? You got Cardi B; he was cheating in their marriage, right? You got everybody, and cheating is not the only thing that people go through, right? People change up here, people evolve, and you have to know how to be with your partner as they go into these different endeavors and get older and start doing different things. Will's doing dangerous things on TV where he's jumping out of things and doing things different.
I get that, but
and so everybody has phases.
All of that stuff, that's different from disrespect. Disrespect should never be a phase in your relationship. That's why I'm saying, nigga, get a divorce. Because if you're getting openly disrespected like this repeatedly, and even if you have talked about this and said, don't disrespect me like that, the person who you're with does not respect your feelings, if they continue to do it, that
Yeah.
ain't no phase type of shit. There, nobody on this planet is worth staying with if they're going to disrespect you and go against your wishes, and just in the sense of how you want to be treated. Having an entanglement, whatever, y'all have a structure to your relationship, that's fine. But there's still disrespect within that, and it's clear
Right.
that she
Well,
disrespects him. He's staying with her
but he's
most likely
okay.
because, but he not okay. That's why you got to seek help.
No, no, no.
I'm saying
I'm
I
saying he's
believe,
letting it be okay.
but and this is what I'm saying. I feel like he's only doing that because he's already made it clear how much he hates the idea of divorce. So he's the definition of settling, because he'd rather get disrespected and be in an
Yeah.
unhappy marriage than actually just walk the fuck away. Be okay taking the L in marriage.
Yeah. Or they can just continue here, and I'm being funny or kind of sarcastic, but they can just continue to make it work. I mean,
Sometimes
what
you
else are
gotta
you gonna
do
do?
that. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and that's true,
if you
especially when you
already
get
said,
older.
they both said that they don't like, they're not getting divorced, so we gonna make this work. So if they
Yeah,
both
that's
agree on
tough.
that, you're just gonna keep until they die. They're just gonna keep going around in a circle. Look, I don't
Yeah.
agree with everything they do. Their kids do their own thing, and they have their own little different things, but it works for them, whether or not, in the sense of, not to say it works for them, but because my thing is, you can get a divorce, but if you don't want to, if you really wanted to, you would.
I wonder if maybe they just, maybe there's no prenup. So it's like,
Well, and they have money though, even if, like, what?
yeah, but even still, marriage is legal. You have to go through the proceedings, and
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, it's not like he married someone that's, way back in the day, and they have maybe a boutique, but no, like, movies like Jada, like, they both have money,
Jada
so
has money, but
Will's got money.
you have to remember,
Will's got
a
money.
lot of times that type of stuff don't even be up to the people involved. It end up in the
Yeah.
court's hands, and the court might
Yeah.
just be like, "Will, you gotta give up half, my brother."
And he'd be okay with that. He wouldn't, like, sweat it. He'd probably take care of her for the rest of his life. He'd probably be like, I will give you this amount of money. You don't even have to
Man.
tell the judge. Okay? I'll give it to you so you can shut up.
I don't know, man. Y'all niggas are better than me, because I can't. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
look,
do it.
I can't speak on, it's hard for me to speak on, oh, she doesn't love him, only because I'm just like, we don't know what happens. A lot of things are happening now outside of the home, or out, on Red Table Talk,
Yeah.
on the media. But he's had to defend so many of the things that people are looking at infidelity. Like Gayle King, are you sure there's been no infidelity? He's like,
man.
never. You've had to do. I can't even be married.
I just know, as a man, men don't put up with certain things. These are the type of things that most men don't put up with, and even if they are, they're not happy. He's probably seeking help because he's probably on the verge of, he gonna end up on one of these documentaries. Y'all keep playing with Will, man. I'm telling you.
And here's the thing: we're gonna hear about it. We're gonna hear about it in a few years on the Red Table Talk. It's okay. Just wait. We'll hear about how they got through this, right? We'll hear about it.
Is there getting through this? I don't.
No, what I'm saying is, if I'm going off of them not divorcing and making it work, so they're gonna talk about it in the Red Table Talk. I'm trying to tell you, they haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah,
but
man.
they will.
If you ever see this, my brother, do not go on any of these stupid ass shows with your wife and talk about none of this shit, because you're already struggling with the fact that people don't respect you, and if they don't respect you because the optics say that you're okay with your wife walking all over you. And I get it. She has a show. You need to get views. Again, we talked about this earlier when we mentioned media.
Yeah.
Like, niggas don't make money off positivity. They make money off negative shit. But Jada's not a news outlet. She's not none of that shit. She is just a person who wants to feel like she is still receiving stardom. So she does what everybody else has done the last 2 years, which is make a podcast or have a show. And she has a great show. They've had wonderful
I
guests.
do
They've had
like their
wonderful
topics. Yeah.
conversations. Yeah, it's great. But the problem is that when the content gets dry, the only thing she can do is run and tell stories about y'all's marriage, about her history with Tupac, and about all these things that show clear and blatant disrespect to y'all's dynamic as partners. Not everything that y'all go through need to be for the public. And yes, August broke he broke the fucking levees on the shit, but at the same time, that's a young nigga just talking about his sexcapades. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he was hurt because he felt some type of way. But listen, young nigga, I talked directly to you on the show in the early days of the Michael Jackson show on Lunchtime TV. I talked about this. Bro, Shorty did not love you. She was looking for an escape from her husband, but she can't get a divorce because Will don't believe in divorce, bro. He don't believe in it. He's not doing that again. Yeah. He only did it the first time because he legitimately thinks that Jada is his soulmate. That's the only reason why he did it. And that's part of Will's downfall is going to be that he loves a person that does not love him in the same way. Even if she loves him a little bit or has loved him in the past, that love is not the same. It's not.
No.
But hey, maybe they'll go another 20. We could all be wrong. You could be completely right. It could just be a phase, and it could be nothing.
And I don't say it's
blissful. Who knows?
It could be, but I feel like everybody, like her love is not what he needs anymore. And maybe that's what it is. At this point in his life, it's a different type of love. Like I said, everybody evolves, everybody changes. Absolutely. I mean, I wasn't in competitions last year. I was, I wasn't in school last year either. Right? I'm busy as God. Like, I'm hella busy. So the things that change and evolve that we don't see causes maybe what you need, right, to change. I may not need you to be as loud as you've been. I need you to shut up.
But
right?
One thing in a relationship that should never change is the respect level.
I know that. I'm not. Here's the thing. I'm not knocking that. I'm just. What I'm saying is, when you guys talk about love, again, if I needed something before, like, I don't need the same thing that I needed 10 years ago in a relationship now. It's totally different. I need a little more understanding because I'm busy. But before I had time, you wouldn't have to worry about getting attention from me. Right now, I need you to understand that you're not going to get all of that from me anymore. Right? It changes. So disrespect, that's the thing. Yeah, but if we're going to be okay with that, if you're not going to say anything, and if you're going to make it okay, if maybe he's going to get help and maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe, we don't know. We can't even talk about half of it because we never know the full story.
Will, maybe you should just start matching the energy, my boy.
I think that's what he's... Listen.
No,
he's not even at home no more.
I'm talking about, like, pull up in a new whip, couple shorties in the back, money flying out the window. Like, do some crazy shit. Because, like, I don't know,
He
man.
may.
All this little red table stuff, all these little stories, man, that'd just be too crazy. We can't do all that. But anyway, all right, we're closing out the show. We got a couple more minutes. Yo, tell us about, what did you do this past weekend? Did you win medals? Did you place? I feel like I read something where it looked like you had a record or something. Did you set a record? Is it a world record? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I try to make this make sense. I've had to say this to make it make sense for people who don't know like what the competitions look like. So
because you're a power lifter. So for those of you who don't know, that's power, nigga.
Oh, wow. I'm scared of spiders, by the way. So, I don't bite.
Why is everybody so scared of spiders, man?
I don't like any insects
scared too, so I can't front.
I don't like insects I don't like any insects, actually.
I
nothing.
Don't blame you. I'd be a little scared, but we just have to remember, we're bigger than the spiders.
I'm not. I think that they come back from the dead if I don't clean them up and flush them down the toilet. I literally will not sleep if I don't kill it. It's bad. It's a whole, like, I've used half a thing of Clorox bleach just because I didn't want to get too close.
There for a fact, I know there are people who watch this show who will relate to this portion of it more than anything that's ever been said on here. Because
Yes.
the spider thing is real. All right, go ahead. Powerlifting. Yeah, let's talk
Yes.
about it.
So this was the Nationals. So
Okay,
the
Nationals.
the AU state. Okay, so state was in February. So state qualified. So me being in the state competition qualified me for the Nationals and the world. Actually,
Okay.
the world is
The world. Oh, this is big. Okay.
right. So the world one is coming up. That's next.
Okay.
So the state was in February. So the state, you don't break the records that are set until the Nationals and world. So basically, I unofficially broke the records in February already. So
Oh, okay.
and that's in my weight division and age. So that I'm not breaking records of people that are 400 pounds or
Yeah, no, it's
120
dope
pounds.
either way
Right?
though. Yeah, that's super.
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. No, just so people
Hell
don't
yeah.
I'm not going up. I mean,
You're
there's
not the
people,
world's strongest woman, or that's not what you're
right?
saying.
No. I'm
Not yet.
it goes by that. So in my weight class, right?
Yeah.
In my age division, because I have teenagers that do this too. The high schoolers come
Yeah.
up to people that are old. Like there's a YouTube stream that we save it, so we did live stream it. There was an 83-year-old on there. She got up from her
that's
walker.
dope.
I didn't know she performed. I didn't know she was competing.
You'll have to send me the link so I can put it in the chat so that way people can, watch it, like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. It's Lunchtime TV.
She, I didn't notice because she has a walker. She's 83. She just had hip replacement. Mind you, I did not know this.
Is she's lifting weights?
She's deadlift and bench press.
Wait a damn minute.
And
Shorty
the
just had a
cameras
hip
don't show that
replacement?
part.
Oh my God,
Yes.
what a beast. I be crying because my knee is a little bit sore from basketball in the morning. Shorty's out there after a hip replacement, setting records.
No.
I love it. That's dope.
Literally, because I'll forget, so I'm going to multitask. Share this page.
So I gotta see this.
So, but the thing about it is her name is Winifred, and the camera, the live stream won't show her getting up from the walker. I'm seeing it though. I'm like,
watching
who's,
it. Damn.
yeah, I'm like waiting for my turn, and I see, they're like heavy metal, because we have nicknames. Mine is the Eclipse. So hers is heavy metal. Yeah.
I'm putting
hers
your
is heavy
nickname
metal.
in the chat. That way people have to call you by your nickname.
Yes, thank you.
Eclipse, we got you.
Yeah, so she broke records too, which is like, literally, to get up from a walker is like a Spider-Man, Superman type thing. You're at the day at the office, you're a regular guy, and then all of a sudden you're lifting cars and Spidey stuff everywhere. Like, it's crazy to see her get up from that walker. I didn't even know it. I was like, who's heavy metal? I've never met this person.
That's her nickname is Heavy Metal. I love that. Make sure you text that to me so I don't forget. I gotta put that in the chat, and we gotta Winnie, because I was thinking of nicknames for her in my head. What rhymes with Winnie? But I got nothing. But I like Heavy Metal. That's dope.
Man, it was crazy. So it literally, for me, her doing that took away any excuses that you could ever think that you have.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. I mean, fresh off of a hip replacement? Nah, because if I end up with a hip replacement, I'm already looking at rascals and stuff like that. I'm trying to pimp out a rascal, put 20s on it. Like, we're never walking again after a hip replacement. But Winnie's got a competition next weekend, bro. She putting these young bucks to shame, boy. Y'all better stop playing.
It was crazy. So, yeah, that happened. But then for me, and mind you, I don't even care if you guys want to know my numbers. I don't really care to, but I broke records, it doesn't matter. But, so how it works is you get 3 attempts. Shut up.
Yeah.
You get 3 attempts, and you have a 4th optional. So, cool. So if you broke a record, you can ask the judges for a 4th. So, the first competition, I only did 3, but I did 3 each, so I did 3, 6, 9. So the first one in February, all white lights. White means the lift is good. That means I did it perfectly. I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
Any reds mean any 2 or more reds mean the lift is not good. 1 red is fine. But so I got perfect score February, broke the records unofficially. Then I go to the nationals that was last weekend, and everything is in kilos, by the way. So the numbers that I got after the fact, like yesterday, 2 days ago, actually were higher than I thought. Because I guess the numbers they calculated, but it's an estimate. So I'm like, I don't know. It was weird. So,
wait, they estimated?
So,
they don't just count the pounds?
No. I don't know. Like, listen, I thought like my bench press was not the number that it was. I thought it was like 10 pounds less. So when they officially do the calculations and stuff is when I get the numbers in the chart and everything.
Yeah.
And so every first attempt on everything I did, so squat, bench, and deadlift, I did all 3. So the squat is always first.
I love it.
And
you got perfect scores for all 3? Is that what you were saying?
Well, 4. So I did 4th attempts this time.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Long day. You don't really realize how bad that or long that is until like I'm still hurting now. So
dang,
right.
It's a new weekend.
Listen, the first attempt, you kind of is an opener. So you do you kind of talk about with your coach where you kind of want to be at.
Yeah.
And then if there's somebody in my weight class that I'm competing against that's not on my team, then we could talk about, okay, well, she's looking at these numbers if, but my numbers were too high anyway, so it didn't matter. So
crushed them.
The first attempt is an opener. So here's the thing. Because I've been training since November till now, even though I did February, I continued training for the nationals. Every first attempt broke the record. So every first attempt that I got broke the previous record.
Nice.
So every attempt after that, I broke my own record.
Well, I'll be damned. Breaking your own record. That's got to be a good feeling. Not too many people get to say that.
Yeah, I was tired.
Like,
I actually wanted to go home.
It was my own record.
Old
shit, that was old shit. Then I did some new shit.
So I did get first place. That one of the medals was first place in my weight class and division, and then I got best female lifter. So
hell yeah.
And then I don't know how the point system works, but I think my trainer was telling me that I contributed 19 points to the team.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which is a good, I think that should be good. I mean, here's the thing. I broke records with every lift. So your first lift, you get like a big chunk of points. And then after that, you get points for every record breaker that you do. Even if it's my own, I get points for that. So.
Yeah. No, that's dope. Getting the points.
Thing that I did.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's super dope.
Yeah. Net Worlds is next. Well, here's the thing. Actually, I don't know yet. The Alki Beach Classic is on August 20th.
Okay.
That one has a little different stuff. They have farmer carry, tire flip.
Oh, so you got to do some like crazy stuff, like obstacle course type of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I may or may not do something with that because I am training. I will be training for the Worlds, which is in the next month, September 30th in Vegas. So
yeah.
I may do something. I may not, depending on what coach thinks. But I will be there selling shirts and maybe other merchandise that I have happening.
Yeah.
I have a logo and everything.
Okay. You got to send pictures of the logo. We're putting it all in the chat. Start putting it.
Yeah, I have it. I'm looking to. I'm talking with someone now to get shirts made. More shirts. I have shirts, but I only have a few left.
I need a shirt so I can wear it on the show.
They are dry fit. I'm going with quality material. Yes.
Yeah.
So I am going with that. Right now I have them in black and white. And so they fit bigger. So if you need like a medium or do you like large?
I need a 2X. You said a medium, shorty? Do you?
No, they fit bigger than normal.
A
Stop it.
medium? Stop it. A medium?
I bet you'll fit a
My
medium.
big ass? No, hell no. In any shirt, anything that I wear, I have to. I got big titties. I gotta wear a 2X.
But I'm saying they're bigger. They fit bigger.
Maybe a large.
I have an extra. Oh, I have an extra large if you want to go to the
or
safe route.
XL. Yeah, XL. Just because when you wash it, it might shrink, or I might get
Well,
bigger. Oh, it's dry fit.
It's dry fit.
So it'll shrink.
Polyester, 100%. It's that stuff that in the gym, like the gym material. Tight stuff.
I can't have it being too tight. You know what I'm saying? I'm shaped like a gummy bear. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta.
Okay. All right. But yes, that was my accomplishments for the day, and or that day, and so I lifted. Am I telling you guys the numbers? Or?
Yeah, I mean you can shout them out. This is the praise corner, so go ahead.
So my best lift, which was the whatever the last lift was, squat 265.
Okay.
Bench 176. That one I fought for. Do you remember that video? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I fought for that. Woo! And bench press for women, we don't have that up here. We carry babies, okay?
Yeah.
So bench press, anything over a 45-pound on each side, that's 135. Anything more than that is
that's quite a bit. I mean, listen, even there's a lot of men who can't bench 175.
But they have to be super small. Like I feel like they're okay, I'm saying this as far as like training. For men, chest stuff, anything upper body, y'all got it. Women have trained for years. No, not listen. What I'm saying is women have trained for years. I've seen a woman that's trained in powerlifting for 10 years, and she still struggled with I think it was like 150 on the bench press. We have, our anatomy is just different. That's all I'm saying. Nothing, no shade. Our anatomy is just a little different. So, but deadlift, I did lift 370.
Okay, so. Yeah. Look at the list. We got numbers. We got a medal. Sasha B is lit, aka Eclipse. So I put that on the front of an R&B record. Do you have a theme song? You got to get a theme song.
I thought of it, and then when you're in the competition, that you got to remember, so 5 people are ahead of me, then I go, then there's like 5 more people behind me, then I gotta wait to go around to the next round. Damn. I'm not thinking about a song at this point,
Damn, you gotta have your coach play your theme song, like cuss.
I know, I gotta. But
ready.
the world, I think the world, since it's super big in Vegas, I might be able to do that. But
dang, I got just enough time to write and record you a theme song.
Oh, you're gonna make one?
Nah, that'll be terrible. You'll hate it so much you'll be like, ain't no way we winning with this song playing.
First time I missed a lift because of that song.
It's damn theme song. Listen to this shit. It's terrible. Nah, that's super dope. Yeah. Well, congratulations to you. I'm very happy for you. Setting national records. You're gonna go to the Worlds in September, crush those records. You're gonna come home true champion. Already a true champion, but for real, it's super dope. We got somebody on the show that's a real champion, because I'm not a champion of nothing. I've won some intramurals and some adult men's leagues before, but shit, man, that's the one thing that I would say I never was able to get. I didn't, like, even my AAU basketball team, we didn't do super great. Got too hurt to play college ball, but a medal, a really cool trophy, man, that's like not every person, but a lot of sports and athletic people, that's their dream, to get some superior accomplishment. So that's super dope, man. 7 records. Very impressed. We're going to make sure it's all in the chat. Y'all be sure to go like and subscribe to Sasha's IG. It's going to be in the chat, or maybe not the chat, but in the description, excuse me. Go hype her up, man. Watch the videos, watch her lives, hype her up. Fly out to Vegas in September. Vegas flights right now are fairly cheap. You can go $550 for a round trip for 3 or 4 days. I looked at it yesterday.
Yes.
It's not very expensive, man. Just go out there, support. We're gonna get some shirts. We're gonna be repping them on the show, and we're gonna make sure the theme song is hot for Eclipse.
Ooh, if you guys can find me a song too, because I couldn't find one that goes with Eclipse.
You should just play a record by Clips, and then we'll just somehow work the E onto it. But that's gonna be hardcore rap music, and they mainly talk about cocaine and drug dealing. So that probably is not the move
Or
for
just
you.
the beat. Maybe the beat will just be.
Maybe that grinding beat. That's just you, because then it's Clips.
Grinding.
Your Eclipse. Yeah, exactly. It's easy.
And that is a classic song.
That's a classic. Yeah. So we already got you a little theme song. We have to talk to Pharrell, get the rights and stuff like that. But we could probably make it happen. Maybe he'll become a fan of the show, and then we'll stream live at the World. Oh my God. We're gonna try to find a way, man. I might have to go to that, and we'll have to do the show live from Vegas.
That would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be crazy. What a trip that would be. Oh man.
Might be something. We'll have to see.
No pressure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode. By the time you're seeing this, we're recording this on May 20th. You will see this on whatever the May 24th or something like that, because it's dropping on Tuesday. But yeah, share some feedback, leave some comments, like, subscribe, click on that bell, get all these notifications, and do whatever needs to be done. I'm your host, Minkle Jackson. Got Sasha B. This is Lunchtime TV. We're out.
Out.